Welcome, beautiful mama. This is Petia, and I am so happy to have you on this podcast, Free to Be You, because I feel like you just embody that freedom for women entrepreneurs. And I love that you describe yourself as a holistic abundance mentor. It's beautiful. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Karina, for having me. I'm really excited. And it's so beautiful because I just love why and how you created the podcast and the name, because I feel like if every single person would do that, just really embrace that, who they came here to be, like how much better the world really would be. And how
Yeah.
much easier our lives would be, like instead of spending so much time in our heads, we'll just drop into the present, into our bodies, and just live the life. So, really excited to be here today.
Thank you so much. I do. I feel like you live your life from your heart. And that is definitely what I love to do. And what this podcast is really about is stepping into your divine purpose and living that from your heart.
Yeah, it's
So
beautiful.
you do that. You
Thank
do
you.
that. And you're a new mama.
Oh,
How
yeah.
old is your baby now?
She will be actually next week 5 months, and I can't believe
5
it. I
months.
feel like I just pop her out and it's already 5 months. It's like, it's incredible, like how much life can change,
Yes.
and also how your priorities shifts. Because I was like, last few years, I was so proud to be like unapologetically myself. And having a daughter just takes it into completely whole new level. Like, what am I saying yes to? What am I saying no to? Because every single time I say yes to something, like even being here right now, I'm here. So that means I cannot be with her. So, really, like the offers of like podcasting and summits and collaborations, it has to be really a have an yes in my body. And it really takes it onto a whole new level on what I'm doing, what I'm creating, and how am I living.
That's so true. I love that. Yes. It makes things more clear, right? And it also gives us lots of opportunities to learn and grow and be stretched in ways that we're not used to.
Man, like when you're living on a few hours of sleep, thank God for my husband. Like, I have literally the best partner in life
Mm.
forever. Because like the first few weeks, like I wouldn't move from her, like at all. And we are still doing like co-sleeping, breastfeeding on demand, so I'm still with her. And I work from home just a couple hours. But the last few weeks have been really hard because she has been like moving so much when she's like sleeping, like kicking her legs and moving her head. And I am like so sensitive to every of her movement. I just like sleepless. I am just
Mm.
like staring at her. So my husband took her, and like right now it's like 4 or 5 nights a week she's with him at night. She's with me during the day. So it's really amazing how we are able to do that, because like I said, I work a couple hours a week from home, and I'm able to be with her and witness her. And man, they teach you every second, especially patience.
I relate to so much of that. I'm still a mom, but I was a similar newborn infant phase mom where it was co-sleeping and nursing on demand, and I didn't keep a strict sleep schedule, and several of my babies wanted me to sing to them and hold them and rock them during nap time. So I was very present with them, and I do not regret that at all. So I'm so glad that you are living that way, because it does go, it's the days are long, but you know, sometimes, but the years go fast. I remember reading that or seeing that, and I thought that was so true. And
Yeah.
so soaking them up is just vital. Yes.
From every single second, like this, like even like when I was pregnant, I was like enjoying it so much. I mean, trust me, like pregnancy can be hard, like sleepless nights, peeing every 5 minutes, nausea, and all these things. Like, I'm not saying it was like walk in a park, right? And I knew it's temporary. The same with Sophia. Like now it's like past 3 days, she's like screaming.
Mhm.
Like she's fed, she's changed, she's like with us. Out of nowhere, she just starts screaming. And I'm like, this is
Mhm.
temporary, this is a phase. And
Yes.
of course, like there are days that you're like, oh my God, I just want to put her to bed and just take a shower and just like breathe. Then I
Yes.
remind myself, I'm like, every single minute that passes, she's getting bigger. Like
Mhm.
she's growing. Like this time will never come back. But it's not just because I'm a new mama and with a daughter, but it's with everything. I had the same feeling with my grandma. I knew that every single
Mhm.
moment with her, it's precious. I knew that one day she won't be here, and she's not now. I know every single second with my dog, it's precious. I keep telling my husband she will live forever. She will be the first dog who does, but no, it's just like being so present to everything you're doing. Like I heard this somewhere, like wherever you are, be there. And
Mhm.
that's to me like true abundance. Wherever you are, be there. Yeah, it can be challenging, stretching, teaching moments. It's not going to last forever. And if you can be present to that, it's always preparing you for the next steps, for the next thing,
Mhm.
always. And we have to look at it this way. Like, even like when I got, when you start your podcast, it's the first time you're doing it, and it's the
Mhm.
first interview. And it's like, oh my gosh, it's the first thing. When you're doing hundreds of them, like you will get used to it, will be so normal. But every single thing you're doing in life, it's preparing you for the next thing. The first client, it's preparing you for having two clients to have a five clients,
Mhm.
launching a first program, it's preparing you to have a maybe series of programs. Everything, it's preparing you. And when you can see this way, it takes out the pressure.
I love that. Yes, I really believe that that is a divine law is preparation. And I was actually just listening in the 7 spiritual laws of success by, do
Yeah,
you know that one?
of
Do
course I do.
Yes, so good. And it was talking about that today. So, of course, you brought it up right after I listened to that. That's beautiful. Yes. So, I would love for our listeners to hear about your background on with you know jobs, how you transition, because I believe that you were in like a job before, right? And then eventually transitioned to your own business. Would love to hear a little bit more about your journey with that.
Thank you for asking, Karina. And it's so funny because like when I look back, like I never wanted to be entrepreneur, because the entrepreneurship, as I witnessed and saw, like when I was growing up or when I traveled, I lived in London and Spain, and I work with a lot of entrepreneurs. I used to be like personal assistant, then working with finances, accounting, bookkeeping, and stuff like that. And every single time that I encounter entrepreneurs, they were hustling, working hard, putting their family on the side, working really long hours, weekends, holidays. And I always say, like, oh, I never want to do this. I don't want to do this. Like, I don't want to sacrifice my weekends. I don't want to sacrifice my family. I loved my family, And so that was like the entrepreneurship for me, the vision of how I saw it. But then I worked in a corporate for 5 years, and I was getting my bachelor's for marketing, MBA. And when I was going through that life phase, I was always feeling that the next thing will make me happy. I was literally living in a wonderland. I call it, I call it that way because I feel like it's, and a lot of us, it's not like a bad thing. Like a lot of us just do that. Like we're living in a wonderland. When I have the money, when I have the school, when my kids grow up, when I have the house, when I have the car, we're living in a wonderland. We're living in a future. And we don't realize that it's right here and right now, embodying who you came here to be. And it's not just a fluff, it's truly like the world needs you the way you are, the way you are right here and right now. Your message, your gift, you are needed in the world. And so very often we cannot see that because we are in that. So me working in a corporate job, I couldn't see that I have a gift with people. I didn't see that I have a gift with like seeing a clear path on how can we do things easier. and more simple. I thought that everybody can do that. We cannot see it very often when we are in it. So as I was working in a corporate, I got fired one day. I got fired when I was already starting my, business for social media marketing agency, and I became entrepreneur by accident. If I would believe in accidents, and I'm
Right.
like, okay, so now we're doing it. Now I have to do that, right? And I already have my degrees and everything in a school. I was personal trainer also, I would say by accident. Because I did some fitness competitions and my ex-husband was a personal trainer and he traveled to Europe for a prolonged period of time, and he was like, "Hey, can you take care of a few of my clients?" I'm like, "Okay, like I can do that, a couple times a week, make more money." And they never want to go back to him, so I don't think he forgave me that. But that's how I started. It's like everything just, it's like the breadcrumbs. One thing leads to another. And if you learn to say yes to the opportunities, not saying yes because you feel like you should or because you could, but because it really feels like, oh, I'm curious about this, or this is like, it's just like pull. Instead of pushing in life and trying to do it the hard way, see what you're curious about, see what is pulling you, what people, like who is inspiring you. Because the mistake that I did, and we learned through everything, when I got fired, I was working already with my first life and business coach. He was a podcaster and I hired him off his podcast. And it's funny because now my clients are hiring me, they're podcasters and interview me or, hear my podcast or hear me on a podcast. So it's just like this beautiful circle of life. When I did that, I was just like in that scarcity still. I was
Mhm.
still thinking that I have to work hard. I was thinking that I have to deserve the things and that I have to prove myself to my clients. And
Mhm.
I was just feeling so little and I was undercharging, overworking. I was working 7 days a week and I was burned out physically and mentally. And it was just
Mhm.
so hard. And I was in, I got divorced and then I got into a relationship that I find out that like he was cheating on me. So it was just like
Mhm.
all of the things that I've experienced were just really showing me how little did I value myself, how little did I respected myself, how little I believed in myself. And I just knew something had to change. I
Mhm.
knew that I cannot live like that. And that's when I started to work on, personal and spiritual development because I
Mhm.
wanted a different life because I saw it in my mom, how hard she was working. I saw it in
Mhm.
my grandma, how she sacrificed everything. And I wanted something different. And I didn't even back then, like, I loved puppies. I never thought, like, oh, let's have a kid. I was never like, that's my dream, have a kid.
Yeah.
Like I'm 40 in a couple months, and I didn't have the kids up until now for a reason. I didn't have them just to have them. And so with that, everything started shifting. I built my first business and I still, I feel like sometimes in life we're trying to run away.
Mm.
We think that, oh, if I leave this job, or if I leave this relationship, or if I lose the weight, or if I change this and that, then my life will be better. But
Mhm.
we don't change on a subtle level. We don't heal. We don't look at the darkness that it's within us. We all have that. We all have traumas. We all have wounds. We all have pain that
Mm.
we experience. And sometimes we're trying to bypass it. And we
Yes.
think the next thing will be better. Like, the grass, it's greener on the other side. It's not. You know what I mean? Like, water yours.
Yes.
And it'll get greener. And so I had to learn it by, trial and failure and a lot of failures, to see that we really come here to be ourselves, truly. And
I
now
agree.
when I was able to create that, multiple six figures business, I told you working 2 to 3 days a week. And that was even before having my daughter. Now I work like literally a couple hours a day when she's napping because I don't like to be on my phone in front of her. And when I am, I explain her like,
Mm.
"Hey, mommy just wants to say hi," or "Let's call grandma," or "I will reply this client because she's doing important lunch. Let's help her," you know? So it's just like being present to her. I work even less now, and I know I'm even more clear about
Mm,
the impact I'm having and the woman I want to be working with. So giving it a time and space to mature into that, it's
mhm.
very life-giving.
That's beautiful. I love that. I've always felt so strongly that people need to do what they feel about and aligned with, and that they can find that balance, and prioritize in the way that is important to them. And I know in my business there have been times when I really felt strongly that I needed to shift the way I was doing things to really be there for my kids. And I would listen. I did that every time. And I know that I'll never regret that because it all worked out. They had my time and attention. I helped the people that I helped when I was supposed to help them. And now I feel like I can give more because my kids are older, and it's beautiful. It is so important that we prioritize what feels like our priorities and not just let life run us,
Yeah.
but
I
like
love that you did
decide.
that. I really love that you did that, and it's so inspiring, like really trusting the timing. Because, like even when I was pregnant, it's like I didn't want to work. So, like I minimized that. Like I really ask myself, what is my priority? What really gets to be done? What can I pass? What can I eliminate? What can I delegate? I built an amazing team of few people who are helping me with my business. So I don't have to worry about so many things. It's just
Yes.
so important to work with people that you trust, whether you have one assistant or whether you have five people helping you, like I have different people for different things. And it's so amazing because when I started my business, I was thinking like, oh, nobody will like care about my clients and my business like me. I have to do it myself and it will be so
Mm,
much faster. But it's not true because then I'm not making the impact and the income that can help not
mm,
only me, but also the people that I get to work with and their families. So we get to just really learn to be honest with ourselves. And again, ask what is my priority right now? Maybe it is to be with your kids and you don't want to be working. Great. Fantastic.
mhm,
Maybe it is to be with your kids and make money while you're with them. Like that's my
mhm.
priority because I love what I do. I love the
Yes.
women that I get to support. Like, you know how amazing it is for me. Like my newest client who just hired me a couple days ago, I asked her like what is her priority right now? Where does she wants to see herself? Because she has, spiritual business. And she said, I want to retire my husband. I'm like, what would it
Mhm,
take? And she said $10,000 a month. I'm like, only? You know what I mean? Like, I
mm,
know, like, right now I say only, of course, but when I was starting my business, like, that was like my dream in my business was making $5,000 through my business. That would be like, I made it. I'm happy. Now that I'm making like 10 times more, it's like it takes only $10,000 for you to stay home with your baby because she's a baby girl for a few months too, and
mm,
retire your husband so you can whole family be together. And I can help you do that. Yes, please. You see what
mhm,
I mean? It's like you're changing the whole paradigm of
mm,
we have to work hard and mothers have to leave their kids. It's so heartbreaking for me to imagine for couple grand a month,
mm,
you are going to leave your kids alone. Or like, of course, not alone, but like, you know what I mean, with strangers. It's
yeah.
like if it takes 5K for you or 10K, and you will be able to be with your kids, it's just like no brainer for me. Let me teach you how. And with simplicity and ease, because like I don't have time and I choose not to have a time for drama and complicated things. Like,
Mm,
let's make it simple for
yes.
women to make money so they can do whatever they want, whether they have babies or you have grown up kids. But like, how fantastic if through your business you can make enough money to take all the family for vacation. But
Yes.
you can take like a month off from your work or two. Like
Yes.
I took 3 months off with my daughter, completely off. And, like I was few weeks off, like when I was pregnant too, and everything kept running and I had recurring revenue.
Mm,
For my next baby, my husband is ready. I was like, I'm not ready yet, but I want to take complete 6 months off.
I love that.
So like,
Yes.
why not? Like, why can't we be the generation who do that?
Yes, I agree. I think these babies that are coming to the earth right now are just phenomenal, strong little spirits and
You
big
should
spirits.
You should meet my daughter. I'm like, my mom, when she met her first time, when she was 2 weeks, I flew my mom from Europe to be with us for 3 months, pay for everything, unpaid vacation in her job. She's coming back this week, actually, to keep helping us.
Mhm.
Like, how amazing, one, that I can do that. But two, when she met my
Yes.
daughter, she was like, she looks like an old soul. And my mom doesn't
Mm.
look like that.
Oh.
I'm like, yes, she is. Like, you can see
Mm.
her eyes.
Mhm.
She is like, she has a strong knowingness and personality, and I just feel so honored
Mhm.
that I get to do that with her.
Yes. 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 Things are shifting in on our earth and collectively for all of us, aren't they? I can feel a big shift happening and we're ready for these old souls to come to the earth. I love that you got to the point where you could experience this abundance and that you're helping so many other people to step into that. What do you feel are the like top two reasons why people don't ever make that jump or ever transition to that?
That's such an amazing question, Karina. Oh, I have like goosebumps, on my back. I love it. I feel like the first thing, it's that they don't think it's possible for them. Like they're looking around and they see the reasons why it can be working for other people. Like, oh, of course you can make this because you're coming from this background, or you're this, like skin color, or because you're this or that. Like they see so many reasons for, or because you're so great in messaging, or because you're good looking, or because you are great on video, like, or because you're doing it for already like a decade, right? Like they see it in others, they don't see it possible for them. So that's the one thing, like they don't see what is really possible for them, and they often feel like not enough. Like
Mhm.
I'm not, like well spoken enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not connected enough, I'm whatever it is. It's like the scarcity of worthiness
Mhm.
coming in. So I feel like that's the one thing. And the second thing, it's still being stuck in those old limiting beliefs. Like whatever you were brought up with, like I know that like women who come to me, they do their work, like they did the inner child hearing, shadow work, meditations. Like newbies don't like come to me, it's women who already done the work, and they're like, I know I want to help more people. Those are the type of women I work with. So they've done the work, they're doing the work, but there are still limiting beliefs that, grew up with them.
Mhm.
You're growing up, it's still there. Like I saw my parents like working so hard. I don't want to work hard.
Mhm.
So we think that when we have a business, we have to sacrifice family. Like very often we think that we have failure, like fear of failure. Very often
Mhm.
it's fear of success. What would it
Yes.
be? What if I have to sacrifice my well-being? What if I have to sacrifice
Yes.
my health? What if I have to sacrifice my family? But all
Mhm.
of this runs on subconscious level,
Mhm.
because they're, like I said, they're doing all the work. They're journaling, they're taking care of them, they're, doing the spiritual energetic work. They are investing in programs, listening to podcasts, reading the books, and they're like, why it's not happening for me, right?
Mhm.
And then again, go back to the point one, why is it happening for others, not for me? It's not possible for me. So I
Mhm.
always work with my clients on this conscious level with,
Mhm.
neuro-linguistic programming, with somatic work, working on the limiting beliefs, writing that. And it's even just like sometimes it's just such a little tweaks.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we don't realize it because for us it's so normal. The way we speak, the way we see the world, I help them to see more clearly and do it their own unique way and really see like how do they want to live their life? How do they want to do it so it's true to them
Mm-hmm.
and
Yes.
monetize it with ease.
Yes. Do you often work with people who want to have a residual income or okay. Yes.
I mean, who wouldn't want to? Let's
Yes,
be
we
honest.
all
It's
do.
like yeah, I mean, who wouldn't want to do that?
Right. I'm
Yeah.
all for it. I'm all for all of it. I love it. That's so great. What is your favorite experience doing this work? Can you think of a time that pops into your head that you thought, this is what I'm meant to be doing? This is so fun and so fulfilling and rewarding.
Oh, there are few, but exactly how you said it right now, exactly those words, like I felt it the first time in 2019 when I hosted my first live event called Meant for More in Las Vegas. And I was speaking from stage and I gave an exercise to the woman. We had almost 100 participants there for the first event. And I was there and they were speaking to one another and I had chills all over my body. And I'm like, this is what I'm meant to be doing. I'm meant to be helping women, empowering them and helping them live the life that it's really true to them, not everybody else. Release the conditioning, deep healing. So I feel like when I'm with people in person, that's just like soul shifting. I did live event, then I did retreats in Tulum and Las Vegas. Now of course I have a little one and I have no desire to host anything for a week, 5 days long. I still do a VIP day because that's like one afternoon with me where I help women to go really deep on their healing, their subconscious, and really mapping out their life, their programs, their pricing,
Mm,
everything, so they can
mm,
create the residual income and they can create the life that it's really on their own terms. So I still do
mhm,
that. But that was like the first time, first moment. But also then when we moved with my husband to Mexico, when I
mm,
was just literally, I know it sounds like a cliche, Karina, but I was laying on the beach in a hammock,
mhm.
listening to the ocean waves
Oh, it's the
and
best.
answering to my clients' voice.
Mm,
It's just so amazing. And, like I love beach, I love water, but right now I didn't want to live there, stay there. We had like some traumatic experiences there too. So I'm glad to be
mm,
back in States. But, being in Las Vegas for us, like we literally, and I was telling this my husband right before our call, we manifested our dream home exactly how I wanted it. It's like
mm.
it couldn't be like if you would see my vision board and you would see this house, you would say I'm a witch. It's literally,
I
you
think you
know,
might be a really
I know,
amazing good witch.
I
Yes.
know. My husband used to call me like wise with a white wealthy witch. Then he became Christian and stopped calling me witch, but I'm like, okay, I still am. But
Yes.
what woman is not, right? It's just
Yes.
let's
The
go back to the
wisdom.
nature and the magic.
Yes. Oh, I love this. This has been so fun. And I think that anyone who listens to this is going to feel inspired by you. Thank you so, so much. Before we end, I will list all of your contact information in the notes. But what is the best way for people to work with you and to reach out to you?
I feel like the best way to connect with me it's on Instagram because to work with me right now I'm focused on my one-on-one clients because I just love that. I love going deep and creating big shifts. However, in February I will be launching a group program where I teach women where to create five-figure months with ease and without burnout. And I also have a couple of free offers that I can send you the link, Karina, because I don't know when this is going to be live, but I have my abundance activation process where I help women to really see clearly their blind spots where there can be blocking abundance in their life and how to create it. And the
Mm.
second is going to be actually in a couple weeks on January 24th. I
Mm.
am hosting a free masterclass, 5 steps to 5 figures,
Mm.
because I truly believe that when women can make more money, they can make more good in the world. And that's what we need right now.
I love that. Yes. Beautiful. Thank you so much. You are just a joy and just so beautiful. For those who can't see you, go to my YouTube channel so that you can watch this and just soak up her energy and goodness and beauty. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.